Evelyn tapped her foot impatiently. The clock on the wall mocked her with each tick. 11:32 p.m. Where was this train? The station was deserted. Shadows stretched across the dusty floor, making the benches look like lurking beasts. A chill ran down her spine. She clutched her worn leather bag closer.
The air was heavy with the smell of coal and something else. Something ancient and almost forgotten. Evelyn shivered again. She felt a strange pull towards the tracks. A sense of anticipation, mixed with a growing fear. Why had she agreed to this? The note crackled in her hand. She read it one last time, hoping for a clue, for an answer. The words were just as cryptic as before.
Find the station master. Ask for the key. Board the last train to midnight. It was madness. But here she was.
It had all started with a letter. A faded, handwritten note delivered to her doorstep. The handwriting was familiar, but she couldn't place it. The message was simple, yet unsettling. It spoke of a journey, of a chance to rewrite the past. It mentioned the last train to midnight.
Time travel? Impossible. Yet something about the note drew her in. A flicker of hope, perhaps. A chance to undo old mistakes. She had been haunted by her past for so long. Could this be the answer?
Driven by a desperate curiosity, Evelyn followed the note's instructions. It led her to this forgotten station on the edge of the city. Now, with each passing minute, her skepticism wavered. The impossible seemed to be taking shape before her very eyes. A rattling cough startled Evelyn. A figure emerged from the shadows. The station master. He was hunched over, his face lost in the darkness of a wide-brimmed hat. He moved with a slowness that spoke of ages.
You seek passage?
I received a message about a train. The last train to midnight.
The station master chuckled, a dry rustling sound.
The train comes for those it is meant for.
He reached into his coat and retrieved a large leather-bound ledger. Its pages were filled with faded ink, the script elegant and indecipherable.
Find your name.
He instructed, placing the book on the only vacant bench. Evelyn's fingers traced the names, each one a whisper from another time. And then she saw it. Her name. Written in the same flowing script as the note. Her heart pounded in her chest. This was real. A low rumble echoed through the station, reverberating off the walls and sending a shiver down the spines of those present. Evelyn looked up from the ledger, her breath catching in her throat as the sound grew louder, more insistent. Emerging from the darkness was a train unlike any she had ever seen, its silhouette gradually becoming clearer against the inky blackness of the night. It was a magnificent steam engine, its brass gleaming under the moonlight, casting an almost magical glow that seemed to dance in the cool night air. The carriages were painted a deep midnight blue, each window glowing with an ethereal light that hinted at mysteries and stories untold.
This was the last train to midnight, a name whispered in hushed tones and laden with legend.
Evelyn's hand trembled as she reached out to touch the cold metal of the carriage door, her heart pounding in her chest. The station master nodded, a knowing glint in his eye, as if he understood the gravity of the journey she was about to undertake. He produced a large ornate key from his pocket, its intricate design catching the light and sparking curiosity.
Don't miss your stop, he warned, his voice carrying a weight of foreboding.
He rasped, handing her the key with a solemn expression, as if passing on a sacred duty. As Evelyn stepped onto the train, the air grew heavy with the scent of wood smoke and old leather, enveloping her in a sense of nostalgia and mystery. The carriage was empty, save for a single lantern casting long shadows across plush velvet seats, creating an atmosphere both inviting and eerie. She sank into one, her fingers tracing the intricate carvings on the armrests, feeling the history etched into the wood. The train lurched forward, and with a hiss of steam, it pulled away from the station, leaving the world behind and carrying Evelyn into the unknown, a journey that promised to be as enigmatic as the train itself. The train sped through the night, leaving the city lights behind. The city, with all its noise and chaos, faded into the distance, replaced by the serene quiet of the countryside.
Evelyn gazed out the window as the landscape transformed into a surreal, moonlit dreamscape. The moonlight bathed everything in a soft, ethereal glow, making the world outside look like a scene from a dream. Trees became dark, twisted figures, and hills rolled like sleeping giants under a sky dusted with stars. The stars seemed to twinkle with a mysterious energy, adding to the otherworldly atmosphere.
Time seemed to lose all meaning within the confines of the train. The journey felt endless, yet strangely comforting, as if they were traveling through a timeless realm. Minutes stretched into hours, or perhaps it was the other way around. The concept of time became fluid, almost irrelevant in this magical journey. Evelyn was lost in the rhythm of the journey, the steady chug of the engine, the gentle sway of the carriage. The repetitive sounds and motions were hypnotic, lulling her into a state of deep relaxation.
A strange sense of peace settled over her. It was as if the train was a cocoon, shielding her from the worries of the world outside. The anxieties that had plagued her for so long seemed to fade into the background noise of the train. The rhythmic clatter of the wheels on the tracks was like a soothing lullaby. For the first time in a long time, Evelyn felt present, connected to something larger than herself. The vast starry sky and the endless landscape made her feel a part of the universe.
But the question still lingered. Why was she here? What was the reason behind this unexpected journey? What was the purpose of this strange and wonderful journey? The mystery of it all added to the enchantment of the night. She hoped the answer would reveal itself in time. Until then, she would embrace the journey, savouring every moment of this magical ride through the moonlit night. The gentle click of knitting needles broke the silence. Evelyn looked up to see an elderly woman sitting opposite her. Her face was a roadmap of wrinkles, each line etched with stories untold. Her eyes, though, were bright and full of life.
It's a curious thing, isn't it, time?
Evelyn nodded, drawn into the woman's calming presence.
I don't understand it. Why am I here?
The train brought you here, child, just as it brought me. This journey, it's not about outrunning time. It's about weaving the threads of your life together.
Evelyn pondered the woman's words. Was this journey about understanding her past? About making peace with the choices she had made? The thought both terrified and intrigued her. As the night deepened, the train continued its journey through the ethereal landscape, the rhythmic clatter of the wheels on the tracks creating a soothing, almost hypnotic melody. Evelyn found herself alone once more, the old woman having vanished as mysteriously as she had appeared, leaving behind an air of enigma that lingered in the compartment. She stared out the window at her reflection, superimposed onto the passing scenery, the fleeting images outside blending with her own visage in a surreal dance. The face staring back at her was a stranger. Or was it? She couldn't tell if the changes were real or just a trick of the dim light. The lines around her eyes seemed deeper, etched with the weight of past regrets, each wrinkle a testament to the years of sorrow and joy she had lived through. But there was a new light in her eyes, a spark of hope that had been absent for far too long, a glimmer that hinted at the possibility of a brighter future.
The train journey, she realized, was a mirror, reflecting not just the landscape outside, but the landscape of her soul. It was forcing her to confront the reflection of her own life, the good and the bad, the moments of joy and the times of sorrow, all intertwined in a complex tapestry.
And in that reflection, she saw not just the pain of the past, but also the potential for healing, for growth, for becoming someone new, someone stronger. Evelyn took a deep breath, feeling the weight of her past begin to lift, the burden of old memories slowly dissipating with each exhale. The journey wasn't about changing what had been, but about finding peace with it, understanding its place in her story. It was about understanding it, accepting it, and ultimately letting it go, embracing the present, and looking forward to the future with a heart unburdened. The train began to slow, its rhythmic chugging fading to a gentle hum. Evelyn looked out the window to see a soft golden light illuminating the horizon. Dawn was approaching. The train had reached its destination.
As Evelyn stepped off the train, she found herself in a beautiful, sun-drenched valley. A gentle breeze rustled the leaves of ancient trees, and the air was filled with the sound of birdsong. In the distance, nestled among the trees, was a labyrinth, its stone walls overgrown with ivy. Evelyn knew instinctively that the answers she sought lay at the heart of the maze. With a newfound sense of purpose, she began to walk towards it, her footsteps light and sure.
The journey on the last train to midnight had brought her here. Now it was time to face herself. The labyrinth was a journey in itself. Twisting paths led to dead ends, forcing Evelyn to retrace her steps, to confront her past mistakes and learn from them. But with each turn, with each obstacle overcome, she felt a sense of peace settling over her. Finally, she reached the center of the maze. There, bathed in the warm glow of the morning sun, she found what she had been searching for: herself. Not the broken, haunted version of herself that had boarded the train, but a stronger, more complete version, forged in the fires of self-discovery.
As Evelyn stood there, the first rays of the rising sun warming her face, she realized that the last train to midnight wasn't just about traveling through time, it was about traveling through the labyrinth of one's own soul. And she had finally arrived.